band lateral raise, we have a couple of options. So the easiest option is going to be use one of these tube resistance bands with the D handle attachment. Then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to want to place our foot or both feet on the band. You'll want to make sure that the band that's on both sides of this is even. We don't want it to be like really lopsided like that because we want even resistance on both sides. So up to you if you do 1 foot or 2. I prefer doing 1. Then we want to make sure that the band is the right difficulty for us, so it's not a super heavy band. We want to be able to do this type of movement with it. And then we also want to make sure that it's the right length. If you're someone who is shorter, you may need to come down and wrap the band around your foot as such to shorten it. Again, you want to make sure that the bands are equal on both sides. So from here, once you do get your proper setup, again, placing your foot on the band about in the middle, right? We want to make sure it's pretty even here. What we're going to do is you're going to want to have a nice little bend in your knees here and a slight hinge forward. So to show you what that looks like from the side here, we're actually going to be leaning slightly forward. This is going to allow us to work in the scapular plane. Then from here, what we're looking to do is you're going to keep a slight bend in your arms throughout this entire movement. You're going to raise your arms up. Now, you'll notice I'm not raising directly out to the side. That's not what we want to do with this movement. We want to raise our arms just slightly to the front as such. Now, your range of motion will depend on your body proportions, but just slightly above shoulder height here is what we're looking for. Now, again, we want to make sure that we do have core engagement throughout the entire movement, so make sure that your core is engaged. And from here, rising up and lowering back down. Now, we want to have tension throughout this entire movement. You'll notice here that when I get my arms all the way down, there's actually slack in this band. So that's a good indication that I actually do need to wrap the band around my foot. So just to show you what that looks like with proper resistance here, to show you the difference when there's slack here. See how the bands are nice and taut, there's not much wiggle, versus if here there's more tautness. We do want there to be some tension and tautness to the bands, even at the bottom of this movement. So to show you from the front, raising up and lowering down. You notice again, my arms are not straight out. There is a little bend in them, but it's also not a massive bend like this. Just a tiny bend so that we're not locking that movement out, lowering down. And that's how we do a band.